Well, good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the Symposium, Human Evolution and Human Development. I'm Mark Scher. I'm a professor of anthropology, and I'm also Associate Dean for the Social Sciences and Research in the College of Arts and Letters. And I'm really grateful to Darshan Narvez, the chair of the conference, one of the co-chairs, for inviting me to welcome you tonight. We're looking forward to 2.5 days of really stimulating papers and equally stimulating discussions. And I think what's great about this symposium is it gives an unusually broad perspective on parenting and development, child development. So you're looking at the topic cross-culturally amongst modern humans, rather than just, in Western society or situated in a particular place. And also looking at the evolutionary origins of parenting, which has so much to tell us about who we are and what we should be doing or maybe not. And the focus, I think, finally, is very much consistent with Notre Dame's, what we like to, at our very best, is going beyond academic concerns and considering what we learned this weekend can help us inform what we should be doing, how people should be raising their children, and what can we do to encourage better family life. Because if you look at it as really a society or a culture can only be as healthy as its children in the end. Certainly, the health of all children is something we should all care about. So thanks to all the members of the organizing committee, from psychology and anthro mainly, who put a lot of time and effort into this, and the sponsors, so the Society for Research in Child Development, Institute for Scholarship in Liberal Arts in the College of Arts and Letters, and with additional support from psychology and the Center for Children and Families. And thanks to all of them for making this event possible. Not to mention all the participants who each will get their turn this weekend, and all of you who I hope will join in the discussions and make this a very memorable occasion. So allow me to introduce Darshan Narvez, professor of psychology and co-chair of the conference. Darshan?
Good evening. It's wonderful to see you here and be with you for this exciting event. This symposium actually follows on the 2010 symposium that we had on human nature and early experience, and here are some of the speakers. And we have now a book that just came out from the 2010 symposium that will be available for ordering, and you can see we have a stellar cast of authors. And this, the previous symposium, focused on the developmental niche for young children. And so the specialists, the researchers, the scholars in these areas of early experience, what children in our evolutionary history experienced in early life, wrote chapters about these areas. So positive touch, responsivity, breastfeeding, free play, positive social support, multiple alloparents, and of course natural childbirth. Research has demonstrated that there are significant physiological effects of all these factors, and now more increasingly we find psychological and lifetime effects of all of them. This developmental niche, how families, parents, and communities care for children is greatly influenced by culture, cultural beliefs about what children are, whether they're evil or good, beliefs about what children need, whether they need punishment or support, beliefs about what appropriate care is, formula feeding or breast milk, sleeping together or sleeping alone. Ethnographic research demonstrates that different parenting styles influence personality development, cultural personality, and these influence parenting practices in an interactive way. Many investigators concur on the importance of knowing exactly who we are. What is our human nature? Where did we come from? We need a solid knowledge base about normal development and maybe development that's outside the norm. That's why we're here. We are going to listen to the best of scholars from multiple disciplines about what they know about relating our evolutionary history to who we are today. And that includes primate evolution, human evolution, optimal and suboptimal child rearing. We really need to get our baseline straight. What is our evolutionary heritage? What are our inheritances, our capacities, our propensities? And what is that developmental niche, and how has it changed? And what does it mean that it has changed? How is child development influenced by caregiving practices? And what might we do now, more practically speaking, to help children today? How can we improve the outcomes that seem to be deteriorating in the United States for children? And I'll say more about this tomorrow in the introduction, tomorrow. So tonight, we're going to focus in on our evolutionary lineage, our inheritances. And if we look at the list of primate inheritances, there are quite a few things that we've inherited. Our cells and body plans, that's extra genetic kind of information, not related to genes, our genetic heritage, but also our epigenetic programming from the experience of our grandparents and our parents affects our genes and how they function. Developmental plasticity, what we experience as we're developing in early life affects who we become in multiple ways, how well our physiology works, our psychology. The developmental niche I mentioned, the microbiome is affected by our whether we had breast milk or not, and all sorts of other things. Our maternal ecology, her experience, the local ecology, the culture, and our ability to self-organize. But our focus in this conference really is on these areas. So we are looking at the psychological, but also the physiological, the individual, but also the cultural. And all of this has to do with our ability to self-organize and change who we are, change our niche, our developmental niches, or our cultures. And these all are influenced in an interactive way that's a constructivist interactionism, because our epigenetics, who we become, our plasticity, is all interacting all the time. And the one thing that was left off that actually is maybe more important, that's my area, is moral development, is the moral sense. We've also inherited from our primate and from the tree of life, Darwin noted multiple aspects of the previous life forms. Hey, well, I'm sorry, it went off on my screen, but not yours, that's okay. But he noted that the moral sense really evolved through the tree of life. And tonight, we're going to have Frans de Waal talk a little bit about our lineage and our heritage in terms of the moral sense.